Now, once you have the drone going, the next most important thing is going to be the squirt. Now, what the squirt is pushing air out of your mouth using your tongue and cheeks. Now, before you can push air out of your mouth, it's important that you are able to trap air in your mouth. Trapping air in your mouth is going to require you to lift your tongue in the back, kind of like an ng sound at the end of ing, like that. Try this. Fill your mouth with air and squeeze with your cheeks. You should feel pressure at the back of your mouth where your tongue is up against the roof of your mouth. This keeps the air isolated in your mouth. It looks like this. There shouldn't be any air coming out of your nose. There shouldn't be any air going back down your throat. This is your mouth isolated. Now, when you are ready to squirt, you squeeze your cheeks and push with your tongue. Now, here's where the first exercise comes in. We want to buzz our lips. But you're not going to have the same amount of air pressure as when you blow the drone. So, try the loud and soft again first before you try to squirt, so that you remind yourself how to hold your lips when you're just using a little bit of air pressure. For instance, when you're blowing quietly, like this, remember. You see, it doesn't take very much air at all to keep the drone going. In fact, the air in your mouth is perfectly adequate for keeping the drone going. Now, let's try it. Trap air in your mouth, and then try to squirt it out of your mouth. At this point, don't use the didgeridoo. Let's just do this with our lips. Try it again. Try one more time. Notice I'm trapping air in my mouth, and then I'm squirting. You may see my lips pursing, and that's what you're doing when you're blowing your drone note. Now that you have the idea of the squirt, let's address a couple of the problems that you may have actually making it work. Now, the first problem that most people have is that they're not using enough space in their mouth. When you're actually moving your mouth to squirt the air out, you should have a little bit of a chewing movement. In other words, drop your jaw. You want as much air in your mouth to work with as possible. Now, if when you try to squirt, it sounds like this, then you're only using the air in the front of your mouth. Let's start with an ah, like that, where you drop your jaw. In fact, try it with your lips closed. Now, once your mouth is open and your lips are closed, then blow into your cheeks and trap the air. Now, your tongue will come up in the back, and that will keep the air trapped in your mouth. Now, when you squirt, slowly push forward with your tongue and raise your jaw. It'll work just like a bellows. Try it again. Just like that. Now, the other main problem that many people have is that they're actually not blocking their mouth off. I want you to practice the ng sound. Ing. Realize that when you vocalize through the ng sound, the sound is actually coming out of your nose because the tongue is in the back of your mouth raised against the upper part. And that redirects the air out your nose. Now, if you went and pinched your nose shut, you wouldn't be able to make the noise anymore. Watch this. That's where the air is coming from there. It's not going out my mouth. So, let's try that one more time. The squirt is trapping air in your mouth, originally from the drone note that you've been blowing, and then squirting it out using your tongue and cheeks. Just like that. Now, let's try it with the didgeridoo. This is going to be a little bit more difficult, and you may wish to start with the loud and soft exercise once again, just to get your lips ready for how they must hold themselves in order to do this correctly. So, starting with the loud and soft. Now, I'm going to blow my drone and catch air in my mouth and then squirt it out. And that's going to look like this. You hear that? It actually sounds like I'm squirting now with the didgeridoo. Now, you can just use this with the air in your mouth, and you can inhale through your nose into your mouth so that you don't have to blow it from the drone. That's just going to look like this. Now, I want you to practice this. If all you get is, you're not using enough air. Go back and drop your jaw, as we were discussing earlier. Try an ah sound if you need to have an idea of how far to lower your jaw. Now, when you are just using the air in your mouth to create the squirt, it should sound more like this. Just like that. So, the exercise here is going to be first the loud and soft from the first lesson, and then the squirt, using just the air in your mouth and the lip position from the soft section of the exercise to create the drone on your didgeridoo. Give it a shot again. Notice the chewing movement. Notice how I'm using my jaw. Notice how my cheeks puff out and then collapse. I'm actually pushing with my cheeks. When you raise your jaw, your tongue will naturally come forward.